All right. We're recording. This is the pilot episode 1 of Fox Talk. We've been talking a long time about starting up a podcast. And we've finally done it. We got the work done, we got the graphics, we got our logo, we got our idea, and now it's here. We're ready to rock and roll.
Time to execute. Great introduction there, Nick.
Yeah. So my name's Nick, and you can refer to my co-founder here as Kirby. He has a small Twitter presence, you can say, and we're just a couple cousins. We
Emphasis on small. It's quite small.
well, it's a decent presence. I mean, you have some insider.
Yeah. I got some groups sometimes, occasionally, but you know,
That's what I'm saying. You have some insider connections with certain reporters, but
of course,
um,
yeah. And it's fun. Twitter's all fun. Twitter's all for fun. Obviously, sometimes you
yeah.
take it a little too serious. People take it too seriously. It's
Well,
all just. I will say earlier on Twitter or X, I guess is how its formal name is X. I saw a Washington fan, a Washington Husky fan, he was shooting like a sniper rifle with his daughter. And he said 250 yards away, they were aiming at a photo of Kalen DeBoer, the former Washington football coach.
what?
I know. I was like, that's a little weird. His daughter, it's like a 7-year old, and she like hits the target each time. You can hear it tink. Apparently, it was a photo of Kalen DeBoer, and they're sniping him, which is
I've never
interesting to
understood
say the least.
like the fans. Like, I understand that he left. I understand it's emotional. You were attached to the coach and whatever, but you also have to remember that he took you to a national championship.
Yeah, people are so fast to bite the hand that fed them. It's
Yeah,
like don't be sad that the memories are over or that the fun times are over. You have to remember the memories, like,
exactly.
and it's like you also have to be a realist. It's like Kalen DeVoe is a younger guy, and like anybody, he has ambition. And where is he more likely to achieve his goals? University of Washington in Seattle, entering the Big Ten in a new era. And I argue that they're leaving a conference that's lesser than the Big Ten in a lot of ways in terms of football,
Yeah.
especially when it comes down to like pure physicality. That's no knock on Washington, but you saw what happened when they faced a
Yep. Absolutely.
physical, talented Big Ten team and they got ran out of the gym. But it's like, what is he more likely to succeed there, or is he more likely to succeed at the greatest college football program in the history of programs? Arguably, Michigan has a case too, but I also thought it was funny you have like players smack talking to Bower from the Washington team. I'm like, they're always in the portal. The
Yep.
first sign of adversity, they're leaving too. So it's like he's taking care of himself. He's taking care of his own goals. And exactly right, Nick. You can't be the fans don't really have a right to be upset with a guy that's just advancing his career.
Nope.
What it comes down to.
You also have to look at like the state of Washington next year is not good. Like, you're losing.
Well, especially now. I was telling a buddy of mine. It's like they just had the most insane week of football you can ever even like comprehend as a fan. Like you've got the highest of highs. Like imagine Iowa's in the national title. Like that can't be. Even if you lose, I take it. I'd love to watch Iowa lose the national title game.
Yeah.
Like anybody would.
Well, it's like
I guess we did versus LSU last year in women's basketball, but it's like, yeah,
it's you also have to think about, like, you still won a big time bowl game too. Like, if we win the Rose
yeah,
Bowl, to lose in the national championship game, that's still a big accomplishment to win the Rose Bowl. Like,
yeah.
in
Oh,
in that.
it's a miracle dream season in every
Yeah.
way. You just lost to a good Michigan team,
Yep.
a great Michigan team. But
Absolutely.
to the previous point, it's like they're at the highest of highs, and then like 4 days later, their like program is in like complete disarray, and it's
Yeah.
just like that is what college football is now. It's like everything could change, like
Yep.
at the snap of a finger, because DeBoer obviously leaving is big time, huge news. But then you have Will Rogers, the Mississippi State quarterback transfer, decommits immediately. I saw that their backup quarterback this year is transferring. They've had a number of defensive players into the portal. It's like whatever Washington was supposed to be next year, a run it back year of sorts. I think it's definitely on pause until further notice. And they did hire Jed Fish from Arizona, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's the coach DeBoer is, but
I think
it's interesting.
I think that if Washington was going to have a chance, Grubb had to come back. But
I thought it was interesting they didn't hire him. I don't know. I don't know if they didn't hire him or if he's like, you know what? I don't think it's best for me to stay because I don't think it's an ideal scenario at this point because they obviously have an incredible team this year. They have incredible talent, but a lot of that talent's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet Grubb was just thinking to himself, like, I can stake it all and be the head coach here. That goes horribly wrong. You're going to have to take a lesser job in all reality, like start, take a Wyoming job or somewhere random, or you can go to Alabama, work with their O-line, or their offense rather, as the offensive coordinator, which I assume that's what he'll do. I don't think it's official yet, but
yeah, I think it's going to be
fingers crossed.
Interesting though, because you already saw a couple Alabama transfers, like almost the minute that Saban was gone out the door, and they're already gone too. Like they didn't even give him a chance. I mean, that shows like the impact that Saban has.
Oh man,
like it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, 100%. And also it's like the way I see it, I think that they made the best hire. Alabama made the best hire they could have made.
Yeah,
I think Kalen DeBoer is a killer. Like he's like the Walter Whites of the college football coaches. Like he's just going to get it done. He's like he's at his best when he's facing the best talent there is in coaching. I don't know if you've seen those stats. It's like he's beaten Sarkisian, he's beaten Dan Lanning, he's beaten whenever he's up against the best of the best, he coaches his best. So
and he's young too.
I can't think of anyone. So I think he can really kind of take Alabama into the next era of college football too. Yeah, we've obviously gotten a little off topic here to start the podcast, but I think that kind of speaks to what this is going to be. It's just casual. It's just two dudes talking about sports, and we have a lot to say. So with that, we can get into some of our more planned topics. Nick, I'll let you take it away.
I think I didn't really plan this, but it has to be talked about. The Green Bay Packers. The Pack is back, baby. Give me.
Let me stop you right there, Nick. We should provide the viewers with a bit of a background on our rooting interests as a bit of a precursor to our gloating about our favorite teams stomping other teams.
Yeah.
We're I think we all root for the same teams, you and I.
Yep.
And we've enjoyed a lot of success in our life. We've seen a few titles, we've seen some heartbreak, but so obviously we support the Packers, and in baseball, we support the world famous 2020 World Series champions and the new owners of the Japanese baseball market, the Los Angeles Rising Sun Dodgers. You can't beat the Dodgers, we love baseball, obviously, but
yeah.
Basketball, I could care less about the NBA, just quite frankly.
No, yeah.
I don't know if you have any NBA interest, but no. I think it's boring. I watch the playoffs sometimes, but
yeah,
I like certain players. I don't really care about teams.
No.
I guess I used to be a Lakers fan, but not since they
I keep up with Keegan Murray. That's about it.
Oh, of course. And Chris Murray apparently played 38 minutes last night for the Blazers.
Oh, no kidding.
So he's getting some run too.
Good for him.
Yeah, obviously Packers, Dodgers, and then massive,
Go Hawks, baby.
Iowa fans.
If you couldn't tell already.
Couldn't tell already. If you don't want to hear about Iowa sports, you probably shouldn't listen.
No.
Not that you would listen anyways, but if you're planning on listening and you're like an Iowa State fan, cut it. Yeah. Or you can say, I guess it doesn't matter, but yeah. I mean, and then we like rooting for certain golfers too, I'm sure, but yeah, it's a pretty wide range interest, and we're not bandwagons for the Dodgers. Just
No.
FYI,
We can
we have
we
some.
can trace that back to Grandpa Terry watching Duke
Yes,
Snyder on the old TVs on the street.
yep, 100%. Roy Campanella was his favorite until he suffered an untimely incident. Um, but yeah. So yeah, let's get into the Packers. Let's discuss that complete
That
embarrassment of America's team.
I mean,
America's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
it's a meme, obviously. The Cowboys in the playoffs, which is, if you told somebody that in the 90s, you're out of your mind. But
Oh, there's a lot of things that if you told someone in the past tense, we'll go into that in a minute. But if you told me that Jordan Love would throw his third touchdown in Jerry World to go up 48-16 in the playoffs, if you told me that in August of 2023, I'm not even sure what I would have said. I don't think I can even come up with anything I would have
well,
said.
it's like
But
even just like 5 minutes before the game, I texted you and I asked you what your final predictions were, and you said 31-30 Packers. And they were,
yeah, it's too bad that we about put that up in the first half.
they were one possession away from putting up that in the first half. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah, and like you said, you were going into the Dallas Cowboys are chokers. Which yeah, they are. But I thought this year was the outlier. Like,
I
but
agree.
fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or I guess I don't know. I might have biffed that, but it's like I honestly thought this year was the outlier. Like they looked so good all season. They had a few games that were kind of shitty here and there. But I guess looking back, I really wish I would have given the Packers more credit coming into that game. And I think I overrated Dallas as a team because I really think about Dallas. They kind of struggled to run the ball this year, and in the playoffs, you got to run the ball well to win most
Yep.
times. That's kind of a factor of successful teams. You look at the last few Super Bowl teams; they run the ball pretty well. That's a big part of who they are. Dallas hasn't really done that. Like Pollard had a disappointing year for sure. He was
Absolutely.
injured. I get it. He's coming off surgery, and then I don't think I realized that Dallas's defense was kind of overrated and kind of big play dependent.
Their
They didn't really get
secondary
turnovers.
was in shambles. I had never seen
Oh man,
so many opportunities for there were no Dallas defenders even in the view of the camera at some points.
That Musgrave touchdown. I've watched a lot of 24 years of being alive. That might be the most open I've ever seen somebody on a football field to catch a pass.
Not to mention against a number 2 seed at home. One of the best defenses in the league.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have so many superstars in that defense, but it's at the end of the day, it's like if you're that game is a great example of why coaching is so important in the NFL. Like
yep.
Dan Quinn is a good defensive coordinator, but Dan Quinn was not prepared for what Matt LaFleur was bringing into Jerry's world, but by any means necessary. And his players, you could see it with his players. It was like a turkey with its head cut off for most of that game. Because it's like you said, I think Musgrave had 17 yards of separation from the nearest defender.
Oh, jeez.
17 yards? Think of how many. This is the National Football League. Like, that's like, it's just absurd. It's absurd. And it's like Romeo Doubs. I don't know if you saw the view of one of his catches, but Stephon Gilmore, the corner that was covering Romeo Doubs, was literally going the wrong direction, and his head was turned the wrong way, and Doubs was going the other way. It's like, what is he doing? Like, he's a good corner.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh. And then, like you said, it was by all means a complete ass kicking.
Yep.
Of ultimate proportions. And it was amazing to watch.
And I loved to see the little things like that big Aaron Jones run. I can't remember exactly. It was like 20 or 30
Which
yards.
one? There's about 15 of them.
But
I think he averaged about 8 yards a carry. If not more.
the line looked so good, especially with Micah Parsons. They contained him really, really well. I saw a
Well,
stat that I can't recall exactly what it said, but I mean,
I think I know what you're referring to. Well, I saw
yeah,
a stat that the game is the game that game was won up front. If that, in my
absolutely.
opinion, the Packers line was the MVP of that game. Love played incredible, obviously, but yeah, Zach Tom held Micah Parsons to zero pressures on 9
Yep,
attempts
that's
against
what I saw.
Parsons. But on the contrary, Rasheed Walker had 21 pass blocking snaps and gave up zero pressures, which a pressure, it's kind of in the weeds a little bit. It's like I think it's interpreted like if anyone is within however many yards of the quarterback
Yeah.
is affecting the quarterback's decision making and throw. But yeah, I think Dallas only had 3 pressures all day or 4 pressures
Mm-hmm.
all day, which is just it is when you have a generational pass rusher like Parsons, an all pro pass rusher like Demarcus Lawrence,
Yep.
to get your ass kicked that bad is it's just a testament to how much the Packers offensive line has grown. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. Yep. And like you said, like Jordan Love, like yes, it was the offensive line that gave him the time to throw with those pass rushers.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the throws he was making, you couldn't do anything but laugh. Like that
Well,
when he
yeah,
thread the needle
100%.
in the end zone, like falling on his back through like 3 defenders.
And
What
I
are we
think
doing here?
It's funny too. Oh, the Bills just scored. Dalton Kincaid just got into the end zone. In case anyone's got any
Oh,
gambling
I didn't
interests,
even
but
realize they were on.
14-0 Buffalo. Pickens fumbled. To your previous point, I think the broadcast angle of football, like where it's the two teams on
Mm-hmm.
either side from the sidelines, it does not give justice to some of the throws that these guys make
Yes.
on a weekly basis. Like, you got to see the throws from like the all 22 angle or the end zone angles, and it's like, dude, the fourth down red zone touchdown, which you're referring to, was such a disgusting throw, and it was like he was in like within like 2 defenders. It was just disgusting,
Yeah.
and it doesn't you don't it does not get justice on the regular broadcast camera.
Mm-mm.
Like you got to see it from the other view.
Yeah.
You have to pinch yourself. You're just like, how did they do it again? Like I
It's
don't know how, but
unbelievable.
like, how the hell did they do it again?
Well, it's
You
like,
know,
is it just luck? There's no
oh
way that
man,
they're just scouting these quarterbacks and
no,
they
I
go,
don't
nope,
think it's
that's the
luck,
next guy.
dude.
You'd
They
think,
have never taken a quarterback when they need one. Well, they have. Well, they actually haven't, I guess, because they have never once since 1992 or whatever. They have not drafted a quarterback with the intention of starting that quarterback the next season. So I think it just proves the best time to take a quarterback is when you don't need one.
hmm,
Um, like because they're going to change. Jordan Love's going to change the way a lot of teams do business in the NFL because the Packers are like 2 for 2 now with the whole drafting a quarterback
yeah,
and letting him develop under the Hall of Fame quarterback that's the starter. Um, and I think teams should wake up to it. Like teams should do it. Like give your quarterback, your young rookie quarterback, a few years to figure it out because you're seeing what happens if a quarterback is thrust into
Bryce Young.
a bad situation too early. Bryce Young, it is miserable. I mean,
Yep.
he is hard to watch, and I like Bryce Young coming out, but he might be ruined because it's hard to break some of the habits he's picked up on because he's just been,
Justin Fields,
he's
too.
been broken. Yeah, it's like what if Justin Fields was drafted by the Niners?
Yeah.
Just as an example,
Well, it's like,
or even like I don't know. There's other teams too. Like and it proves how important the situation is. But it's like it's just interesting for sure.
yeah. Well, like I was going to say, like, you look at highlights of Justin Fields at Ohio State and you think this is a generational talent. Like, watching him
Mm-hmm.
in the college football playoff games,
Baller,
he's like an auto first round, like first overall pick. You have to take this kid.
baller.
And now you
Yeah,
watch him at the Bears, which he definitely has flashes of greatness. Like he's able to use his legs and he's able to flash the arm every once in a while, but you have no weapons,
There's
especially
no consistency either. It's like
right.
it's just, but it's hard to even evaluate him because his only good receiver is DJ Moore. Like
Yep.
Darnell Mooney is not panned out.
No.
The O line's better than it's been, but it's still not great. Um, yeah, you wonder like what if Justin Fields had a Matt LaFleur to develop him,
Yep.
or a Kyle Shanahan, or a Mike McDaniel, or a McVay. It's like I don't know if Eberflus and Luke Getzey they have not done a good job bringing the best out of Fields, and I think Fields has his issues. He holds the ball too long, but Jordan Love had major issues coming out too, but they've been coached out of him.
Yep.
It proves coaching again is so important, and it's like you're to your point. The Justin Fields from the college football playoff is not been seen for a minute. I would say like just that anticipation with the throw, and it's obviously a different game. It's college,
Yeah.
but yeah, it goes to show, man. Like coaching is freaking crucial. That
Well,
situation is even more crucial.
now you look at like just like 30, 40 minutes before we started this, Caleb Williams declared for the draft. Chicago has the first overall pick. Do you think they're going to take Caleb Williams?
Yeah, I do. They have to. They got to. I mean, I think it'd be a horrible choice not to, because even if you like Justin Fields, Caleb Williams is a better prospect, and I think Drake May is a better prospect too than Justin Fields. There's no debating that to me. But if and the thing is too is you got to reset your quarterback contract. So I think when was Fields drafted? Was he a 20?
He was 20.
Say 2021.
I think it was 20 or 21.
He wasn't 20 because Jordan Love was 20.
That's right.
With
yeah.
like Burrow and Tua and Herbert. I think Fields was with.
He was 21.
Lance, right.
Selected 11th overall in the 21 draft by the Chicago Bears.
So he's going to need paid soon, or extended soon.
Yep.
And I'm not even sure he's the guy. So when it comes to extending him, it's like, we don't really know what to pay him. But and then again, like we can relay back to the points yesterday and the games yesterday and the day before, where it's like, if you want to win in the NFL playoffs, you got to run the ball well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But you also need you need that guy at quarterback. Like you need a dude to play quarterback for you. Like you need a Stroud, or you need a Love, or a Mahomes, like a Tua, even like a Dak. Like those guys just aren't cutting in the playoffs.
Mm-mm.
And do you really think Ryan Poles, the Bears general manager, can watch the Packers game and be like, Justin Fields can rise to this level of quarterback play and just totally put the team on his back? I don't think he can, personally. And I think that's the assessment the Bears will come away with too. And they're going to take Caleb Williams or Drake May, number one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident.
I think that's a good analysis. I think that you tried it with Justin Fields. It didn't work out. And I think that there's plenty of teams that would happily take him in a trade. I think there's plenty of teams out there that
I think there's plenty of teams that would line up. The Falcons, I think, should be like first in line.
Yeah.
Like get him in that run game offense.
Yeah, that
Let
would
him
be.
and Bijan Cook and Drake London and Pitts and just cook. Go crazy and see what happens. Maybe you can get a good season from Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth a shot, but yeah, I think that I don't know why you'd ever not take a better chance or a chance at a better quarterback if it's right in front of you. It's essentially a free pick because it's Carolina's pick. So it's like they have their own pick in the first round too. So it's like just take a freaking franchise guy. Like Justin Fields could be a franchise guy, but it's not a for sure thing by any means necessary. No. So just restart the contract, get a more potential guy, higher potential guy, and probably just a better player day one. Or you never know. I guess we'll see. If I had to make a prediction, you put the gun to my you forced me to choose. I think they'll pick quarterback. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a payday, I think Jordan Love is setting himself for a pretty big payday. What do you think that contract is going to look like? Because I did put out a tweet after halftime. I said, you need to give Jordan Love, I don't care, 10 years, blank check.
I'm giving the blank check.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be 10 years. I don't think it's gonna.
No,
We're not
that
looking
was
at
obviously
Shohei a ton of
an
money.
over exaggeration, but I
I guess you could.
seriously,
Mahomes got 10 years, but that was after a 56 touchdown rookie
yeah,
season or whatever.
yeah,
I think Love will get. I think Love will get Jalen Hurts money. So that's like 5 years, $260 million or something like that, which is about 52 million a year.
yeah.
I think.
Jeez.
I know. He guess he could come a little bit lower. He has the same agent as Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones got a huge contract.
Yeah.
Um, and Daniel never once shown as much promise as Jordan Love has shown.
No.
So that would lead me to believe that Jordan Love will get a very nice payday,
Yeah.
very very nice payday, and I think it's worth it. I mean, but for
Hmm.
bio, because if he can play even 3/4 as good as he's played as his average the last 10 weeks, you're getting your money's worth. You know, like you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
So I think he'll come in around $45 to $50 million a year when it's said and done.
So the Packers, are they going to take a receiver this year to complement Jordan Love?
I mean, I guess they could take one, but I don't think they will in the first few rounds because I think the receiving core is freaking locked and
I
ready to
think
go.
that I think Christian Watson, if he can stay healthy, that's the biggest thing is he hasn't been able to stay healthy very well, which obviously it's the NFL.
It
You're never
happens.
really
But
going to have,
he's had
yeah.
more hamstring injuries than you'd like to see, I would say. But Nick, really, I think I love Christian Watson. I'm a huge Christian Watson guy. I think the best receiver on the Packers is Dontavion Wicks.
He's a
I really,
stud.
I really think it's Dontavion Wicks. Um, his release package, it gives you Devontae vibes. Like it's just like
Mhm.
if he has, if he's one on one with the corner or at safety, it's like, ugh. Yeah. Even as a fifth round rookie, he is beating man coverage at a very high rate, and he gets open all the time. And being open is the key to being a good NFL receiver.
Yep.
Um, I don't think they'll take a receiver very early at all because I don't think there's room for a receiver because let's just play the numbers game. So you've got Watson, Jaden Reed. They're all under contract for a while. They're
Yeah.
all in their second or first year. So Watson, Jaden Reed, Dontavion Wicks, um, I'm blanking. Romeo Dobbs. There's four already.
Wow.
Bo Melton. He looks like he's earned a place on this team.
Mhm.
So there's five. Malik Heath. They like Malik Heath. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Um, there's six. Who are you?
I
Most NFL teams don't carry more than seven wide receivers. So are they going to use a premium pick to get a guy in there that might not be as good as some of the guys they already have?
yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, unless it's a real difference maker. Um,
I don't think there would be in that when you put it that way. I think maybe the only guy that would be worth is Marvin Harrison Jr. But obviously, that is not going to be an option for us. I think he's going to be.
that'd be a dream. I guess like a Rome Odunze could be an option
Yeah.
if they really want to get crazy and just go overpowered, go OP on the receiving
I don't
core.
know. I
But
think when you put it like that,
but whose reps are being taken away? I guess is what I'm
right?
saying. Like
Exactly.
whose snaps are you taking away? Because they've all had their moments. Like I Romeo Doubs would probably be the guy that I'd be like, he might be expendable, but then in the playoffs he puts up a six for 158 yards and touchdown. It's like
Yep.
you're not going to kick that guy out.
No.
I think if you want to talk about improving the offense in the draft, I'd love talking about the draft. And the draft is my favorite
Yeah.
time of year, especially when they have so much capital this year. It's going to be so awesome because they have like 5 picks in the top 100 picks. It's going to be so awesome. Um, I think if you want to talk about improving the offense with a weapon, you take a running back at some point
Yeah.
early. Because as much as Aaron Jones is as a dog, like he's getting old. He's almost
Yep.
30, or if he's not already 30.
He's getting up there,
So
and he's been
that's when running
struggling to
back
stay
years, it's like
healthy
80 years
too.
old, and he's great. But you always need one or two guys to be really
Mm-hmm.
solid in your backfield. Tight end, I think they're pretty freaking solid. You could probably take one more and just you're set for 10 years at tight end. Like
Yeah.
Kraft, Musgrave.
Lachey,
Uh,
make it happen
yeah, Lachey, yeah, he's coming
next
back,
year.
thankfully. Um, but yeah, the offense is so so good. And it's going to be fun to watch over the next few years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that's like,
But the defense could use some work. Thanks. Like, good
oh
Lord.
yeah, I think there definitely needs to be some changes made. I mean, they played well last night, but I don't know. There was definitely plenty of games during the
No,
regular
it's funny
season.
now that now Joe Barry is realized some of his mistakes. They're changing the way they play a little bit. They're pressing more. They're being a bit more aggressive. They're blitzing a little more.
Mm-hmm.
For it's worth, they are playing better, which is good.
Yeah.
And obviously you want to see that, but they need some secondary help in the worst ways possible. I think they'll definitely take a corner in the first or second round.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've said this. I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of the season how this year was supposed to be like just the fun year where we watch the young guys develop and see who's going to be a long-term investment and who's going to be somebody that's maybe not part of our plans for the future, but we just, and it did look
We're
that
having
way
a
at the
dream. It's a dream season at
it's
this point.
ridiculous.
It's a dream season. Now you're 2 games away from the freaking Super Bowl. Like, we're 2 games away from Las Vegas and playing in the Super Bowl.
When you got to think like the 49ers cannot be sitting comfortably right now, knowing that they're going to play Green Bay.
I don't think anybody would be comfortable.
No.
Obviously, like, the defense is leaky as hell, and they could give up 50 points any day of the week, and not 50, but 35 plus. But yeah, with that offense, it's like Love might just put the team on his back and beat everybody, and seriously just like get it done.
Well, it's like
that in its own right is scary to think about.
That Super Bowl run. Aaron Rodgers, man.
If they win this next week, it's gonna start getting spooky. Like, it's eerily similar to the Super Bowl run. Oh my God, I can't even. It's just exciting. It's exciting times to be a Packers fan.
Yeah.
And oh man,
I'm looking to see if there's any update on CMC. Expected to be back at practice this week, supposedly.
Oh yeah, is he dinged up?
He got injured. Like it says right now, he's listed with a calf injury. He didn't play. He did not play in Week 18, but it says that he's expected to be back at practice this week in preparation for the divisional round. It would not hurt if he tragically couldn't participate in the game.
It would not hurt at all. Unfortunately, they still have Debo and Kittle and Ayuk and everybody else. The Monstars. But yeah, they're not a perfect team. Like, their run defense is not great.
Mm-hmm.
Their old line is just okay. It's pretty good. They have Trent Williams. He's very good, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think we'll have to do another episode before the game, doing a little breakdown.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, it's going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of hype, and I think it's a lot to do with the Packers have nothing to lose. They're the youngest team in decades.
Yeah. A team with nothing to lose is not a team I want to play.
No.
And that's what they're looking like right now. And it's scary. It's a runaway train.
Yeah, and it's like the Niners are kind of in a similar position to the Cowboys. Like, obviously, as a number one seed, I mean, it speaks for itself.
They have all the pressure in the world.
Right. You're supposed to be the favorite.
All the pressure in the world. Yep. Go out there and do it. But it's getting spooky. Oh, it's fun. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah. It's going to be really fun. I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts.
We'll definitely break it down. Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to move on to another topic?
Yeah, I think my computer battery appears to be low, so we don't want that to die out. So maybe this time we could close it off.
All right, yeah. Let's do it. Well,
and the pilot has gone well so far.
Yep, the pilot. I think this is a good launching point. I think it was very important for us to talk about the Packers. We talked a little bit about college football.
Of course. Of course.
And I mean,
there's more to come for sure.
Yeah, I think we'll just take it as we go. Hopefully, I'll get some clips from this and throw them up on Twitter and see if we can get some viewers,
some traction.
Get some traction.
Yeah, this is Janet. We're just having fun. It's just a pilot. But yeah, I think we'll enjoy talking week to week here.
Yeah.
Getting our brands growing.
Yep. Well, I'd say that does it for us.
Thanks, everybody. This is Fox Talk.
This is Fox
Kirby
Talk.
signing off.
Yeah, I guess we'll see you for episode 2 and hopefully preparation for a Packers win.
Let's do it. Yep. Absolutely.
All right.
All right, boss.
See ya.